Okay, so this topic, loneliness, like it is a common human experience. It is one of the most private human experience that people don't openly share about it. It happens inside them, but and there can be there can be two different people who can feel lonely, but in completely different ways, and that's why they won't be able to relate with this. And as in this article, we can find that this is one of the most universal feeling because everyone experiences loneliness at some other point, and it is very personal, and but still it is very common. And even then, it is overlooked because people don't talk much about it. And sometimes people also misunderstand that loneliness is just being alone. And so mostly because it is unspoken and unseen, so uh, most of us are not aware of this. And though we will be able to relate to it to some or the other point, but there are so many people who face loneliness to a very deep level, and it is difficult to comprehend what is loneliness because it does not have any clear definition. It feels different for everyone, and it is not visible like we face if we get any physical pain. It is visible, but loneliness is like depression. I mean, in this article we will also see that it is being compared with it is being said that it is similar to depression. And so um, also that we are always online and always connected because of social media, but still people feel lonely. And this is called a paradox, and this is how it is contradictory, that there is so much social interaction happening, but still people feel lonely inside. And sometimes it is also that we blame it on social media and the urban life, that people think loneliness is increasing because of too much social media and busy isolated city life, and less real connection. And the WHO report says that around 16% of people globally feel lonely, and this is 1 in 6 people. And so um, so this is treated as a serious global issue, and it is just like a health problem. Or and that is why it is you will see that it is discussed in news, it is discussed in social media, in mental health conversation. And we will see we you must have seen different movies, different scenes where you would see that yes, how different people feel lonely, disconnected. And these things are mentioned in books, stories, where loneliness is explored. And so because this is a real human emotion, um, and so connection is not the same as closeness. We have more communication but less meaningful connection. So mm, yeah, another thing is loneliness is hard to admit and to hard to explain first. People are not even able to explain why they are feeling lonely, and it is hard, it is difficult to explain. And then again it is difficult to admit because uh, they cannot confess, and and we do not even know how to categorize it. Um they do because there is some shame, people feel shy to admit it, just like how when people go through depression, and it just runs deep inside a person, but they are not able to confess. And sometimes they do not even know they themselves do not know that what is going on in them, why they are feeling this way, and this affects their entire being, and this becomes a part of thoughts, uh, our own thoughts, our identity, and our mental health. Because if we if we feel lonely for some time, and then again, because it's a loop, you feel lonely, and then you are not able to connect with the other people, and they do not understand you even when you express it, and then again you feel the same, you feel more lonely, because even when you share, the other people are not able to understand. And so so it is just not sadness. It sometimes bring questions like, something is wrong with me, why am I alone? So there's a line from a book written in the article. I mean, this is a, why does it feel what like it feels what yeah, it says, how does it feel like to be lonely? It feels like being hungry when when everyone around you is readying for a feast. It feels shameful and alarming, and over time these feelings radiate outwards, making the lonely person increasingly isolated, increasingly estranged. So um, they again, it says the same, that they feel left over, deprived, and disconnected. And they feel like, because this happens when others are happy, and you are surrounded by people, but still you feel left out and deprived. And so and so in this article also, there's some story mentioned that there's a girl who goes to abroad to study, and then she calls to her parents, her father, and she tells that she is feeling lonely. And then when he tells her grandparents that she's feeling lonely, and then they are not even able to connect. How can someone abroad who is young, around her friends, like there are so many people around her, how can she feel lonely studying? And so sometimes people assume that when you have a good life, you're living a good standard life, still then you should not be feeling loneliness. And but that's not true. Many people because many people cannot understand that it is internal, and people cannot explain it that easily. And so there is confusion, and confusion among public even when someone shares, and there is lack of empathy as well, because you do not know, you I mean, like some people would say, some people just mock the other person who shares something like this. And so again, here the in a book mentioned here, it says that loneliness and solitude are connected. Yeah, so some good part about loneliness is that though loneliness is painful, and loneliness is some unwanted isolation, but solitude is chosen with yourself. It is peaceful because you distance yourself. You want that is, you decide to be alone, and I mean, which is for your growth. So loneliness can also turn into solitude, and then this leads to growth. So it is so many and yeah. So also that many artists like the writers, or they experience loneliness mostly, and they reflect deeply on it, and then they create meaningful work. So when people are lonely, they are able to deeply reflect on things. And that's why when then most of us, when we do not have that um, loneliness, or we do not have uh, because I wonder sometimes, these thoughts, these deep thoughts, why don't it strike my mind or sometimes it does, but I always think when I read some article or some book or some post, I see how nicely these things have been written by that author. It is because they are able to connect to those things, because, and this is also because of the loneliness, and then they connect to different things, those small details, those which are very basic, and we then realize and they help us. And yeah, another and so there are different types of loneliness as well, as I already said. So these are reflective. The later on than what I just shared, this is reflective, like thinking. So loneliness can be through different things, like reflective. When you think about, like, you are among people, but then the way you think, you reflect on different certain things, and the other people the are not able to reflect, or they are not being self-aware, but you understand that okay, this is because you understand the bigger picture, and because you're able to think more, and then you do not connect with them because you are being self-aware. And and then the other, sometime it is also because you feel lonely because it is painful. I mean that painful, and I mean, sorry, you feel lonely because you are not able to connect with people, and then you feel isolated, and that makes you feel painful. So that is the difference. I mean, different types of loneliness. It can be good if uh, if it is in a positive way. And there's another story mentioned here, that another person is her name is Eleanor, and she says that she's completely fine, but uh, actually she feels isolated, she feels emotionally disconnected, and she feels stuck in routine. And so this is the uh, behavior of people who often hide loneliness behind. I mean, they behave normally, but they hide loneliness inside. And so this can be dangerous if it is ignored, and because it slowly affects mental health and identity. And um, and when you are silent, nobody else notices. The person who is feeling it, that person also ignores it sometimes, and then it creates problem, and it can be dangerous. And so it is never too late, and uh, people can get healed, people can reconnect, and change their life. So another thing that um this passage, yeah, in this passage we have you will see that in the not the last, yeah, in the last passage you will also see that it says about that society's role. I mean, do we ignore our neighbors? Do we ignore our colleagues? And so, because it is not just personal, it is a social issue. So, um, people stay in their own circle, and they hesitate to include others, and this increases loneliness. So, the solution is that we need to talk about it, acknowledge it, and express it. Then it can become lighter and manageable. Yeah. And so that's it from my end. I have questions for you. Like, I just want to ask one question. Um, why uh, why do people feel shame that are to express or admit that they are lonely?
Wow, that was phenomenal. Thank you so much, Indra, for choosing such a wonderful topic. It was really, really amazing and, really made us surprised. Thank you so much. So, I'd like to share my point of view. Even though you had everything, about that topic. It was just perfect. Thank you so much once again. So from my point of view, I would like to first of all, give a brief, definition about loneliness, right? That what loneliness is. From my point of view, loneliness is loneliness is feeling of being emotionally disconnected from others, even if they're physically around you. Yeah, this is the right definition. So, uh, you know, of course, and if we talk about what causes loneliness, there are many reasons. Uh, the first reason I would like to point out is, modern technology. Yeah, it really causes loneliness. So now you must be wondering how. How does it cause, loneliness? And if we, have a look, before technology was even, developed, like for example, almost decades ago, when technology was not almost here, or did not almost exist. The people, when, for example, when they wanted to meet each other or interact each other or have conversation with each other, what they, were doing was they were, uh, having conversation or meeting each other or greeting each other, face to face, you know. So, uh, so since after, the technology developed, and people were, getting more modernized and also getting more familiar with technology, and the phones were developed as well as the computers, right? And also internet came across. So after that, people were, gradually getting disconnected from each other, and most of them were, uh, started interacting with each other, through social media, or for example, like uh, WhatsApp that we have today, or Messenger, or some other platforms. Like for example, the very very old, platform which was used was, Viber, right? So there were a lot of platforms. So they started, interacting with each other, through social media, through internet. So what caused it? Caused, uh, technology. Because now, if the technology did not exist, if the phones were not here, so now people, whenever they missed each other, so they would definitely go each other's house, or for example, to greet each other, right? Now that since after the technology developed, and the phones and computers and internet came across, everything changed, right? So it is, from my point of view, it is one cause of loneliness, because nowadays everybody is, being busy social media, and they do not, go out. Whenever they miss, for example, someone, they just call them, or they just, send a message, or for example, they make a video call, which is not as powerful, as greeting someone face to face. And the second reason, or the second thing which causes, loneliness from my point of view, is distance. Yeah. Um, as Miss Indra said, that I think she said 16 people, or 16% around the world, people are lonely. So I think it is because of distance. Nowadays, almost everybody is interested in going abroad, for many reasons. Some may, want to go abroad for picnics. Some may want to, um, want to go abroad, for continuing the rest of their studies there, because they love studying abroad. So, get separated from their family members. And as soon as they get there, to their favorite country, of course, they might be, happy for a week, for 2 weeks, for a month, even for 6 months. And after that, when they not, meet their families face to face, or for example, they do not have in a different country, so it definitely causes loneliness, because they had grown with their family, they had grown with the friends they love. However, and because of, this distance, because of, traveling abroad, so it caused them loneliness. So that's why they feel that loneliness, because they are not with their loved ones. So uh, those were my points of view. I hope you got it and were logical for you. Thank you so much for listening, and I want your ideas as well.
Well, living happily, is it necessary that they need somebody? I think loneliness is also good. Like if somebody is enjoying her own company or his own company,
Okay,
that
loneliness in is enjoyable when you want loneliness, like you want a break, so you can enjoy that thing. But uh, if you don't want a loneliness and you are being isolated, then you will not enjoy this. Okay, so on loneliness, my point of view is like this. The Mehrami says tax. Yeah, like, but I don't think this is a major factor because I don't think so. I will talk to my school friends if there's no WhatsApp or no technology. Like I'm not talking about my best friends. We will talk technology, it doesn't matter. On WhatsApp I will message my best friend to pick me up, or I'm coming to pick you up. That's all. So that's what I want to say.
So, according to my POV, I'll start with a quote that is, "Don't let loneliness makes you consume poison just because you're hungry." And there's a difference between which people actually misinterpret that loneliness and solitude are two different things. They are just like a ghost, a hungry ghost. Solitude is, it just want you to be their feast, whereas loneliness wants other to be their feast. And because of loneliness, there's what we call narcissism, or people end up with multiple body counts. This actually happens. And when it comes to loneliness, it's nothing but it's just like a hunger of your body, that what it wants. And the real problem is that, people misinterpret that, it's like a gap between, what you actually what you actually want and what you're actually feeling. So if you're actually going to neglect the feeling, you are going to end up being like very heavy with like very heavy energy. And if you actually gonna understand it, you're gonna like encounter those things. So yeah. And these are different needs for different people. Like you can't give somebody the salt if their body is deficient with sugar. you know Few people have just one physical touch. Like I really love physical touch when my like brother beats me and we used to play together, so it's very fun for me. I love studying, so if I do not study, I start feeling very shallow. I start feeling very annoyed. No matter how many people are around me or how good people are with me, I keep on switching but the main hunger which I always figure it out, that at the end I just want to study. If I do not do that, I'll end up being depressed and whatsoever.
Okay, hello guys. You mentioned good points, guys, and the topic is also very powerful, and it really should have to talk about this topic. So, Indra, I didn't read the article. I can't get like time. I'm sorry, but just to mention my idea on this topic, like the reason why most people are feeling lonely is like uh, have they have low self-esteem. So everybody, if we have low self-esteem, we may be afraid to approach any person, even uh, our close friends. So and the reason why that case is like in my point of view, like a pornography or self addiction, something like that can get our self esteem very very low. So in more than a lot of studies, it mentions that this kind of people can't go out and chill out with their friends. And also, yeah, Maharami, you mentioned good point. Like take the technology isolates our with from the community. Yeah, before the technology appeared, like everybody was communicating and chill out with each other and go out. But nowadays, it's this technology have something like alternative. So before that, there is no alternative. So they must go out and like that. And the other point is, in order to improve our like sociable life and to minimize this loneliness feeling, I suggest that to make ourselves improve and improve our confidence, and also like do exercise, at least work, go out from your home and just for yeah, we have talked about detox detox of like technology or devices, so we have to do something like that. So switch off our phone or airplane mode and just go out, work, talk to your friends, that make our feelings and emotion boost. So this is my
Yeah, it was wonderful. So, you people have really mentioned some good points here, as the topic is loneliness, and we should truly understand it properly. And once we will understand it, maybe tomorrow we may not feel lonely. And it is really a sort of epidemic. We have talked about this topic too before, loneliness epidemic. These days, a lot of people are facing this loneliness. There are two terms, isolation and loneliness. Isolation is something which you do deliberately. So it's like you plan to remain isolated for a day just to study. You plan to remain isolated for 1 month, 6 months, just to prepare for any competitive examination or to start any business. So you do it purposefully. That is isolation. It is not bad, even if you don't talk with people because you have any purpose. But loneliness is something which you don't do purposefully. It happens because of some bad events with which you encounter in your life. For example, there is like any loss in your life, and because of that loss, you are not able to do anything. You just remain isolated. And in isolation, you overthink a lot. You think about some negative things. Now, here one thing we need to consider is we need to differentiate these two things. Every great person, every great scientist, everyone who has invented something, contributed something to this world, they say that we spent a lot of time in isolation, and isolation helped us to discover those things because there was no distraction. When Newton wrote calculus, he was in isolation. He wrote about gravity, he was in isolation. At the time, there was any pandemic, and for 1 year, they were isolated the way there was COVID-19. Similarly, at the time, there was, I don't remember exactly what was that. And he was isolated in his room, so he discovered gravity. He wrote about those things. And these days, those things are being taught in schools, colleges, whatever he wrote at that time. You know, he wrote something just from his own mind. Imagine where from he got those things, which today scientists are proving them. Still, there are a lot of things which he mentioned at that time, and scientists are working on that these days. So he got all those things from his mind and technically from isolation when there was no distraction. The benefits of isolation are we get chance to explore a lot of things without any distraction. I myself prefer isolation more than just living with people. I talk with people, I socialize, I'm good at socializing, but I prefer isolation more than just socializing with people, because isolation, it benefits me a lot. I do good things in isolation. I protect my mind in isolation and all the stuff. But loneliness, it is harmful for our health. For example, any person is in love with any other person. Now breakup happened. Now sometimes some people are like intensively attached. At that time, maybe the person, like any person among those, they will feel lonely. They will feel like they have no hope now left. They will overthink that I gave a lot of time to this person. I spent my years. I didn't focus on my career. I didn't focus on this. And at the end, what have I received? What have I got? Nothing. So many people commit suicide. Many people start taking drugs, cigarettes, or other stuff. And isolation has a cause, and many times that is bad cause, any thing which destroys something or disrupts peace in your life. So we need to be intelligent enough to understand this thing, that whenever something bad will happen in our life, it will lead to isolation. We will not like to eat food, or we will not like to take calls of other people at that time. We will not like to go out. We will not like to do exercise. We will not like to take care of our health. This happens during such times. But we should understand this thing. At the end, we are harming ourselves. So whatever happened, it was just part of life. Ups and downs are just parts. These are just part of life. Some people suffer more, some people suffer less. People suffer differently. Rich people suffer differently. Poor people suffer differently. Healthy people suffer differently. Weak people suffer differently. The people who meet with breakup, they suffer differently. The people who are enjoying success, who are enjoying love or something different, they suffer differently. Everyone is suffering differently. Some just cry, they just say it to the world that we are suffering. Some just keep those things within them. But the thing is, we should continue our life. Bad things will come. Let us fight with them. Let us not let them destroy our life, our present, our future, because life is short, few years. Let us live happily. Let us keep our parents happy. Let us get happily married, take care of our spouse, take care of our kids, make them great for the world, for themselves, for family, take care of their health, of their education. At the end, we should live this life beautifully. Let us not talk about the wars. Let us not talk about communalism thing. Let us not talk about any other thing. It is not good just involve in some things which are detrimental to us. Just only focus on the things which are helpful, peaceful to us. Life is short. Let's enjoy it happily. Because after death, we don't know what is going to happen. What will happen? No one has seen. Although we have heard stories from different mythological books or different religions or different ones, but the thing is, no one has seen. We have only seen this world, these 80 years, 90 years. Let's enjoy them. After it, we don't know what is going to happen. So take care of your health, study well, get any good job, earn a good amount of money, take care of your family, do something good for this world. That's all what you need to do. Don't try to be lonely. I hope you got it.
You mentioned a very good point, but with all due respect, I would like to address a term which you mentioned, isolation. Isolation is not a really good word. It's a very negative word. Yes, solitude and isolation seems very similar since we all do it deliberately. But in isolation, it's a heavy energy. We choose like overthinking. Whereas in solitude, it's a very light energy and we keep on introspecting. So it gives us purpose more than isolation. Isolation is something when you yourself deliberately try to avoid the circumstances which is not good. Whereas in solitude, you actually put yourself out there with yourself just to introspect and just to find the purpose, that's all. But isolation is so not a good word, it's a very negative word.
Yeah, you really mentioned a good point, like solitude. But I don't think isolation is negative. Have you read it from somewhere? Please provide me some sources. I want to know. Because I have read like it is not negative word. That's why I'm saying. That's why I mentioned
I
earlier.
mean, see, we
Yeah.
always use isolation. Why people
Hmm.
isolate someone? Have you ever
They
heard
isolate because
people
of
have
some.
solitude somebody?
No.
But you have heard na कि people is get isolated from this, just because of this epidemic or this. We have isolated this just because of the COVID and all. You have heard that. Why? Because it's
Hmm.
very dangerous for other people. Whereas solitude is
Hmm.
very spiritual word. They both are very interconnected, but isolation is very negative word.
Negative. I don't think so. Isolation simply means keep yourself disconnected from other people just to get some purpose.
Yeah,
We
disconnection.
stay. Yeah.
Till disconnection, it's
How
right. It's get
how is it
disconnection.
negative?
But
Can you please clarify this thing? How is it negative?
as I have mentioned, like for example, I got COVID. What you gonna say? I'm
Mhm.
gonna isolate you. I'm gonna put you in a room. So I am in isolation, right?
But it is
Forcefully.
not negative.
Guys,
How is it negative?
actually, there is one more thing that people doesn't notice. What is the meaning of solitude and isolation? I guess when we focus on ourselves, on the present moment, that means isolation. When we feel light and restorative, when these things which leads to clarity and new ideas, when we are observing our thoughts, that's also known as isolation.
No, no, no. Observation of a thought that is called, it's a solitude because it comes with introspection. When it comes to observation, it's actually introspection. But isolation is something which is unwanted. It has been forced upon you sometimes, or maybe you forced upon just because you're not feeling good or you're getting bullied for somebody.
So
You put yourself out there.
there are
Mhm.
some hermits like who used to live in a cave. Have you ever heard about those people who isolates them? Like there are some hermits and there are monks who went to glaciers just
Yeah,
to
monk don't isolate themselves. They put themselves in a term of solitude.
okay. So they are not isolating themselves.
See, when we compare two words now, so it's we have to measure the points where the points of the positivity is more in which word, either the solitude or the isolation. And here solitude wins.
Okay, see, solitude, we can say solitude is a better term. But at the same time, we cannot say like isolation is not a better term. Solitude is, again, like almost it is same, like we are being alone by choice for peace, for self-growth. Like we choose to be alone for getting focus or to remain healthy or to study, as earlier I said. Similarly, isolation, it is again being alone disconnected from others. Now, sometimes it happens because we something bad happens with us, like COVID-19 happened.
Actually,
At that time, a lot of people were isolated. It was not their choice. Yeah, it is true. Like sometimes it is not the choice of a person. They cut off themselves from other people just become back healthy, or like they don't want to affect to other people. They avoid people. But it is not bad like loneliness.
bro, when you are being in solitude and like uh, we being solitude with our mentality, but when we are being detached with someone, or isolation simply means like in a physical state when we are being separated from others, like the one who is living in an island, deserted island. There are so many people who are living in a forest, so they are physically isolated them. But I can tell, am I audible, guys?
Yeah, you're audible.
Actually, I'm having a call. That's why I'm asking. So
Mhm.
that's a similar meaning to this. I don't think that both of them have a different meaning.
See, you are putting on a different perspective when we're talking about loneliness now. So we are actually talking about ourselves, whether we are solituding ourselves or isolating ourselves.
People were
See, at
quarantined.
the end, at the end, I would like to keep my comment reserved. Yeah, people are free to use what they want, but that's my POV, and I have read in multiple books. Be it like in isolation is not such a good word. So I'm gonna stick to mine, and you can stick to yours. There's no big deal.
Okay, in my point of view, isolation depends on people how they use it. Like if you are isolating because of COVID, it's may negative. But if you are isolating for preparing your exam, it's good for you.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you, especially with Soldier, that loneliness is not a bad thing. You know, and there are people, in our life, for example, there might be, one person in a family that is alone, but he himself thinks that loneliness is good for him. But but his family members are thinking about him that he is so lonely, he is not enjoying the life. Why is he like that, right? But in fact, he is, happy that he is, for example, lonely. I would like to just clear it out for you as an example. So when we do, for example, I myself, trust me, guys, I do not have any friend. I do not have any friend. For example, to hang out with, or for example, to interact them. I do not have any friend. So sometimes my family members are telling that, why are you so alone? Why don't you go out? Or for example, why don't you have someone like just like your brothers? Why don't you interact with them, or hang out with them? So they think that I'm alone. They think that it is very, very bad, and they think that I'm kind of struggling. They think that I have a problem. But in fact, from my own experience, I love to be alone. Because in today's world, finding true friends, right, finding loyal friends are absolutely challenging, and we cannot find excellent and good friends in today's world, right? It is very, very difficult and challenging to find loyal friends. Most of the friendships are about money. If you have money, then of course there are a lot of people who want to be with you. However, when you do not have money, then you're done. You have no one. So therefore, I'm thinking that loneliness is a choice, but we should let people say whatever they want. We've got to use the let them theory. Yeah, let them say whatever they want. However, we've got to live the life we want the way we are happy. So this is what I'm thinking about.
Okay, just what, guys? Like we have to differentiate those two things. Definitely, as you said, soldier. But now I have to talk. Uh, I was thinking, if someone is feel loneliness, he will lose many opportunities that came throughout his life, like in a classroom. If some projects give up for the classroom and announced for all of the students, so if this guy feel loneliness and developed when he grown up, he developed this loneliness, and he will feel to be socialized and to contact pupils. So see, he will lose this opportunity. But in the other side, when we talk about solitude, it is by choice. So it is you can gain more opportunities. So when we compare those two things, loneliness may may we can lose if we feel loneliness many opportunities, but in the solitude we can gain many opportunities, like we choose that thing by our will. So yeah, even we are the one who create those opportunities by being solitude. This is my thoughts, guys.
Yes, somebody just mentioned about examination that they isolate themselves just to score good. But if we're gonna dive into the examination, why do we isolate ourselves for examination? We are not doing it with like utmost happiness. We are there under pressure, a pressure to actually finish the pedagogy ASAP or to score high. So you are under pressure, and it's not a good term according to examination POV.
Okay, I mentioned that point. You shared like it's not good for us, but if you like do isolation for exam, you will score very good marks. I will say so. That's at the end we are doing for ourselves. We are doing it for our good thing, not like for bad thing. I'm doing it for my good future. So that was I was saying.
Indeed, you are doing it for your future. No deny about that, and you might score very high. It's also good. But you're doing on what case? Like you're actually under pressure, right? I'll take an example of myself. When I was in my college, so I and my friend, we both were studying. I was the one who studied with the pressure of actually score good to top. My friend, whereas he was into this fun zone and he used to study, but at the end he scored 1 marks more than me. So what's the point of taking pressure? And even my teacher also recommended if you're gonna take pressure for examination, maybe you're gonna score high today, but later on in your life you will not able to actually cope up with the most stressful condition.
Okay, I will say I'm not like kind study pressure. Like uh, think if there's a month uh, for my examination, I will go in my room and start studying. I will don't contact anybody so much. I will just do my normal thing. So I'm not being pressurized. I studied before it, and I'm like doing my best. I'm giving it my best. It's not like I'm feeling pressurized or thing.
Maybe you're
Well,
not,
from my
but it doesn't mean not everyone is feeling that pressure.
Well, I think, depression comes when we are in a competition, when we are, fighting for getting a position. So this is where, the depression comes. For example, that you before mentioned that you and your friend were studying, but however, you are much more, depressed than he used or than he were or than he was, right? So therefore, you might have been in competition. For example, whether to lose a position or get a score higher than someone else. So therefore, you are in competition, and your
Not at
friend.
all. I wasn't competing with him, neither with any of my classmates. I just want to score good because I want to put it on my transcript. That's all.
I will say examination is not a thing like to study and write. It's also test you in a very like many things. It tests your pressure, it tests your delivery, and it tests your like how you read that thing. So examination is not a thing you just need to write. But yeah, if you like manage stress good, or your uh, manage your stressed good and like depression kind of thing you managed it, then you can be you can score good marks.
I mean, this kind of examination, trust me, for other courses it might happen, but when it comes to medical, it's really hard not to crack. So there is no chance you're not depressed or you're not anxious.
It depends on your
How
understanding
can
of that is what I'm on my this thing. So when you have been understanding a subject clearly, then you can able to score good. If it is not that pressure, you have taking the pressure and reading it and trying to understand, then it creates lower marks. So
Not at
examination.
all. Even you understand the topic very, thoroughly also, no? Then also you're gonna have a FOMO of missing. Like, what if something comes out of something like a blue one? So
Correct,
That would be the
correct.
case.
Actually, there is a peer pressure is coming because nowadays the thing is that everybody is want to have a perfect score of 720, 720, 720. Whereas everybody is getting also that is this thing. Even I've been reading somewhere that even the first time people who has been from the very uh, economically backward side also has been scoring a 720 numbers. It is not a big issue. They understand the subject, they can able to score. Like the three idiots, they'll say that you understand the subject and you can able to score it. Good. Don't mug up the things and write it out. You
Three
understand
Idiot
the
is
concept.
Three
Yeah.
Idiot is just a movie, and the
That,
people
that,
who just
that
said
is
it,
that is it
they
is
haven't
little.
just felt the
I'm not
pressure.
talking about it. It's not the concept. I'm saying the concept. You just understand the concept, and then you can take it up. It is not that you mug up and everything happens. Then you have to. It may slip out from your mind.
Let's take an example. Virat Kohli plays so well, right? So, what do you think? He doesn't take pressure? Of course he does, right?
Everything depends on the
Some
mindset.
pressure will be there always. It is not that it is there is no pressure. It is there will be a pressure will be there, but you should have to how you have to handle that pressure.
Indeed, no matter how good you're handling with pressure, we are human beings and we are running. I mean, hormones are running through our veins and we can't
Yes,
control it.
you cannot
So,
control that.
there's no point.
It
You-
takes some time to get that. You can say that Captain Dhoni is a Captain Cool. How he has been taking that. So he has been gone through so many situations like this, and he understand that what to be done, how to react on this.
See, if you start controlling now, so that would be also a very, I think, a bad concept you are actually throwing into the world. What if a lion came and you don't want your body to act as a fight and flight mode? This is also not nice. So it's natural. We need to accept it. The body has a defensive mechanism. Just need to understand. It's not bad.
Correct, correct.
Guys, we are getting diverted from our main topic. Our
Yes,
topic is loneliness.
I'm I'm
So,
also I'm
as
also coming to that. Indra was asked a question on the end of this session.
yeah,
Why
so
people are
as in
not admitting whether they have been lonely or they're not expressing their feeling.
absolutely. So, as Indra had started it today with some good points, with some data, it was really wonderful the way she expressed in confidence. So, hats off to you. Now, as her question was why people are not expressing or admitting this thing that they are lonely, there are different reasons. First reason, which I believe, is they don't want to show their emotions or whatever they feel in front of people. Because whenever you do these things, whenever you accept something, subconsciously it feels like we have accepted the defeat. Or sometimes people start to treat you differently. People consider like you are inferior. For example, if you are suffering with some XYZ psychological diseases due to loneliness, if you will admit it in front of people, maybe those people will sometimes think like he's a loser, or he's inferior, or he has these problems. So this is the one cause why people don't accept whatever their problems, whatever they have, and mostly it helps. It express. Am I audible? Am I audible, guys? Okay.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
So,
we go.
Yes.
okay, I was saying like mostly it happens with men. Men don't accept, they don't admit what is happening with them. They are ready to die, but they will not accept or speak what is happening with them. Look towards your fathers. You know, whatever they are going through, most of the fathers, they will not accept this thing or admit this thing that I'm going through this. They are just keeping that within themselves. But on the other side, look towards your mothers. Most of the mothers, they will just complain, I'm feeling this, I'm having this, I'm having this. It's not like only mothers are having, fathers too are having, but women are open to admit these things. And that is why you might have heard this is the reason why women live longer than men, because women express themselves as compared to men. Similarly, like talking about whoever is here, like males and females. I believe most of you guys, males, you will be keeping some things within yourselves. You will not be admitting everything because you want to feel like superior, powerful in front of other people. Because if you will not do that thing, maybe they will think he is weak, he is this. So this is the greater cause. This is the only one biggest cause. Maybe there can be other causes too, but this is the one. If you know other causes, you can mention.
I feel that people who are actually facing now this kind of feeling, they tend to keep quiet, and people who are so much vocal now, they are not actually feeling, they're just exaggerating. And it's fact. If the emotion is very intense, you will keep it hidden. And when it comes to father, and father usually talk with our mother. We might not be the lucky one to get the expression of our father, but our mother does. So yeah.
I will say, when you are lonely, you are not able to think properly, and you did not see the people, reliable people, to like to handle your thoughts. I will say, I don't think some people are not reliable. Like my college friends, I don't think about them. But if my best friend or my school friends are there, I will like share. I will not feel lonely. But when my college friends are there, I don't like feel uh, I don't feel like I am having group or that thing, because there's no connection between us. That was I was saying. And when I am feeling lonely, I can't tell them like I am feeling lonely, because I don't think they are reliable people or they understand my emotions. So that was I was saying.
I know Hindi is not allowed, but I'd like to say that कम वक्त ये दर्द ही है जो मेरा है, अगर इसे बता दिया तो ये भी पराया हो जाए.
Okay, guys, others can also mention this cause why people don't admit like they are feeling lonely. Later, we will wind up this session.
Yeah, correct. Soldier, you have been mentioned that correctly, that people don't want to admit because of they'll be feeling inferior. There is my view is one more view is, see, in the digital era, when Ogi was telling that they should be connected with the friends, school friends, clearly, and not with the kids. Reason
Your
being
voice is breaking.
that
Your voice is breaking, Sarvana, Mr. Sarvana. Your voice is breaking. You are not clearly audible.
okay, I'm able to. Is it now clear?
Rejoin. You can rejoin. Yeah, now there is some improvement.
Okay. So what I'm saying is, so in digital, we have been connecting with the mobile phone most of the times than the physical connection. The friend proof, we don't have any true friends or the close friends. But where all of us think that he will be easily able to express his feelings to his school friends than the college friends. The major gap was between the digital thing, which I feel they have been developed and been given that mobile phone and everything on digital connection. So where you connected on the digital side first than the physical connection with people. So that emotional connectivity was not happening during the college. Whereas the college is the best life you are supposed to get. You'll be getting a true friend, you'll be getting the companions, all those things during the college life only. But it's not happening now.
Yeah, this digital thing has also ruined those deep connections which we used to have with people. These days, every single day, you meet with some new people, and the lifespan of that connection is just hardly sometimes 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, 1 year. And mostly people these days connect with people this way. You don't know who they are, what they are doing, do they really admire you. But real connection, actually, in most of the cases, it happens in offline world. uh, but rarely it happens in online world too. But good connections should be developed in offline world where people are near to you, because if you need some help, they are with you there. But if you need any help, there will not be any online person with you. Maybe they are busy, maybe their phone will be switched off, maybe they will delete their contact after 1 year. So focus more on offline people.
Sure. That is the
Okay, guys.
yes.
Lastly, I like to say this uh, before we wind up this session. To improve our social skill and improve, I think loving others is the main point. Like, rather than expecting others to do or to approach us and to cast this kind of loneliness from ourselves, from our inner self, we have to develop this mindset to give whatever we have, and like uh, the love we want, or the affection we want from the other people. I think we have to give first from ourselves. So if that's the case, this loneliness feeling, I think it will improve. Yeah.
And also, guys, day by day, it is increasing. If you can see the data from Google or from any website, these cases of like mental illness, they are increasing. And the biggest reason is loneliness. These days, people are like lonely. Most of the people, especially young kids, they have no one with whom they can deeply get connected. They feel alone, although they don't show or express those things, but deep within, they are empty. They're silently suffering. And I believe if you have some good people in your life with whom you are deeply connected, there are high chances that you will not feel loneliness most of the times. Because if you are deeply connected with few people, you can share your things with them. So instead of focusing on 10 people, like developing friendship with 10 people, just focus on one person, two-person. You cannot be friends with every person. Yeah, you can talk with them, hi, hello, or discuss some topics the way you come here, but there must be at least one person, and you should choose that person wisely, intelligently. It should not be the person who will reveal your secrets with other people. It is very difficult to get such person, but definitely most of the people will get such people. Just try to share your things with them, which you think like will help you, like they can tell you answers if you are suffering. If you sometimes suffer with something, try to share those things with other people. They may share their experiences or provide you some solution. Don't keep them within. Otherwise, heart attack, these are increasing these days. And again, this is one cause, uh, like mental illness, isolation. So just protect yourself. That is the last point. Loneliness is bad, but what you need to do is protect yourself. If you feel lonely, express it in front of those like on whom you trust. I think we should wind up now this session. Today, every person has mentioned here some points. So thank you very much, guys. Okay, bye bye. Good night.